So, what about the street and what changed? You said something about the bikes, so just
Yeah, you see a lot more, a lot less taxis I see. I
less?
have less taxis because there's now more Uber and things like that people are stopping working as taxi and they're working for Uber.
Yeah,
That's
I,
new.
I,
Also, delivery with food is new. They deliver with bicycles now all over. With there's there's bikes you can rent, but I think that was already 5 years, 6 years ago. There's scooters now, mopeds that you can rent and drive.
moped, real scooter or just like hulajnoga?
Oh, Hulanoga. And it's powered, it's motor powered, and you can drive it around.
Yeah, I tried that. I was scared because it goes really fast, and I heard that someone was driving really fast, and the laws are very stupid because they're driving on sidewalks.
Yeah.
So a guy actually drove into that old lady, and she fell and she died. So that was a bummer. I mean, how can you? It's stupid because now the pedestrians have to really look around if there is any hulajnoga coming with the speed.
Yeah, well, I don't know about downtown, probably not, but here in like Mokoto, you see there's for bikes and people rollerblading and scooters, and then there's the pedestrian walkway. So only when you cross between those two can such a thing happen if you hit somebody. But
Oh,
usually pretty good here in Mokoto like that.
but then they also drive without helmets, and it's kind of like I would be. There's accidents for sure happening.
A lot of people that use bicycles and stuff here, so there's always a lot of people on the road.
Yeah. And so less taxis. I heard that taxis had some kind of either they were protesting or they had some kind of like they were for sure whining and like being not happy about Uber and other because taxi actually it's cheaper to go by Uber I think than the taxi. So
Yeah, it's cheaper definitely to go by Uber.
yeah, so taxis are on the death row. They're dying out. I think taxis are.
Yeah.
What about like communication in big city like Warsaw with the buses and stuff now? COVID is like, do you have to wear a mask or what? What are the people doing actually?
Well, yeah, there's signs everywhere. I rode the bus 2 days ago, and there's signs everywhere on the bus saying you have to stay 2 meters apart. There's only this many people allowed on the bus. You have to wear masks. Inside, the buttons that you push to open the doors are taped with, I don't know, normal tape. I don't know what that's gonna do.
It's not gonna do anything. Like,
And then the first door where you walk in and talk to the guy who's driving, that you can't even walk there. It's taped off and it says no entrance by the guy who's driving.
so what do you use to push that button? You use like a piece of your clothing to push through?
Stop.
Huh?
They stop at every stop now. At every bus stop, they have to stop and open the door.
Oh, they do so people don't
Yeah, you can't
touch
press
that.
it. What other things because this virus? No sports are playing. The stadiums in Warsaw are closed. The Polish Legia Stadium is closed.
Oh, wow. What about
Building
tennis? I wonder if tennis.
around Warsaw, for example, government buildings. I went outside of Warsaw even to get a death certificate for grandma. So there, just like in Warsaw, in government buildings, 2 people allowed at a time only. There's lines outside every government building and doctor's office, I think, around Poland. You have to wear masks when you go in and things like that. So to do one thing, it takes, tomorrow I'm going to get new ID. So that's going to take at least a few hours probably just to get in the building.
Yeah, so comparing to US, like when you went to Washington, big city like because Florida you can't really compare because it's so different. Like Florida is so different than big city. There's no transportation, there's no subway, there's no there's buses, but who drives the bus in Florida?
Yes,
I don't know.
Poland is very.
Like if you can compare like back then when Mexico.
Washington is more alike than Poland than Florida, for example. The north of America is more similar to Poland than the south is, absolutely.
as far as COVID, but maybe it's because it's a big city.
Probably.
Because Florida is like no one cares, you know, they go to bars.
And
Like,
people don't care either because the election is the 28th, I think the 28th of June, and they're going out on the streets in big groups. And I saw a big group of, I don't know, 1,000 people listening to a guy talk, and I only saw like 1 or 2 masks. So
that's so insane. Like, and also the protesters in US without the masks, that is so I don't even want to start talking about it because it's just they don't even know what they're going after. Like, I heard that now they want to, like, they're calling science racist.
Wow.
That's like insane. But well, what about food? Have you eaten any Polish food since you came?
I haven't eaten any Polish food since I came last couple weeks. I'm going to though. I'll probably just buy something in the store and make it myself. Something simple, pierogies or something.
Yeah, there is a lot of that everywhere in every store you can buy now in Poland. I was like shocked because even if you go like downtown or whatever, those little places, like people cook at home and they have a little place on the street. They cook at home, gołąbki, pierogi, bigos, all this stuff, you know, placki, whatever, and they szarlotka, whatever, and they bring it to that store to sell. Like, it's home cooked meals, but they're selling it, and it's kind of warm. It's like on the warmer. Have you seen those? It's like, you know, homemade. So
no, I heard another thing. Michael told me that it's no one works on Sundays unless it's for a family business or something. There's a new law that passed.
Oh, no one can work.
Everything closed on Sundays. Yeah.
Wow, that's who passed. It's probably that because before everything was open Sundays. Then they changed it to where the stores and malls are only open last Sunday of the month. I think before it was that they closed every Sunday or every second, and then people said, no, we want it open because we have, like, I like to shop Sunday sometimes because it's the day that I have time to shop, actually. So people were kind of pissed that, you know, that it's always closed and you cannot do anything. But restaurants are open Sunday, right?
Not all restaurants, but most restaurants, I think, are open.
But now with COVID, so museums are closed, all that is closed. So do they have, like, I don't know if you heard about it or not, or if you know if they have like stages of opening. Comparing to US, it's like second or third stage. I don't even know what stage it is now in Florida.
I think there is no stages here. I don't think they have stages at all.
What about the quarantine? Is that passed already on the 15th? There is no more quarantine for people coming from abroad, or there is still?
I haven't heard anything about quarantine. It's hard. I don't have a TV really to watch Polish news, but I haven't heard anything about quarantines.
A lot of people ask on my channel like how it was when you flew, you know, like they are asking, maybe you can talk a little bit about that plane, about like there was only one plane in the whole terminal that was going, and it was a Japanese plane.
One plane, no, there was one plane I saw that was next to my terminal, and it was a Japanese plane, and I was just wondering, I don't think it's possible if that was my plane. But then I went past the gate and it went to the left and it was locked.
So did you have to have your temperature measured? You know, like tell us something how it was, like step by step. You're in line.
Temperature they measured when I was flying out of the States. They measured the temperature, I believe, and then flying across the Atlantic, I don't know. Masks were mandatory nonstop, and there was a seat between everyone, and so there was room because there was an empty seat. Every middle seat was empty, so you had room. I was on the aisle. I like the aisle because I like to get up and walk. But all nonstop, you had to wear your mask unless you were eating or something. No, they served no food. It was just sandwiches. There was no hot food like usual. Um,
Kind of sandwich, like what did they?
it's simple sandwiches. It's some ham, some cheese, maybe. It's simple stuff.
Okay. So that's
And
so
it's
that
no one is in the airports. When I was in New York or New Jersey, Newark, I think I've no JFK. I flew maybe I think JFK in
yeah,
New
you
York.
were okay.
No one in the airport. Usually in a big airport like that, it's you have to push past people. You have to try to be faster than everyone. But here, everything there was ghost town. No
Was no
planes
one
are
there
lined up.
the
Sometimes
store
when I fly, there's planes lined up for half an hour on the runway. Here, no planes. Right away you fly.
and all the stores were closed too.
Yeah, and only one Polish plane flies every 2 days from America to Poland, just citizens.
So then the flight was all good and everything, and you landed in Warsaw. And so what did they do then? Was everybody in masks? The people in Warsaw, like who were working on the airport?
In all airports, there's only food in one spot. You have to sit away from people at tables, but there isn't many people, so it doesn't get out of hand. But in JFK, they have 8 terminals, and only in one terminal there was only food, so you had to go back and forth. I sat like 7 hours in JFK, I think.
Oh my gosh, that was a bad connection. But in Poland, like you coming and they took people to they told them to quarantine, or like
So
how?
you line up and you go to customs, and in customs they told me before that I had to do 2-week quarantine before I showed them paperwork that I was needed here.
Yeah,
So they let me go, but everyone else that didn't have emergency maybe uh,
situation.
situation or things to do had to do 2-week quarantine. Uh,
Wow, that you were lucky then.
so yeah, I got lucky.
So so if you compare,
Also,
like,
they don't check it that good because I had a picture on my phone. I could have taken a picture of anything and they let you. You know what I mean?
oh wow,
I
that's stupid.
could have written it myself. It wasn't an original. It wasn't anything.
Was it in English? Even did they even understand what it is, or they just looked at the paper?
It was. We wrote it in Polish.
Oh, okay. But if you compare living, like I know maybe I don't know, you stayed in Poland earlier for a longer time, but um, in the summer, weather-wise, it's probably better Poland, right? In the summer.
Better
Or-
Poland. This right now it's raining like in Florida. So the rain, I like rain. It's the same, the rain. But before the rain, it's humid, and then after when it rains in Poland, it's very cool. In Florida, before and right after the rain, it's very humid.
Yeah, in Florida without air conditioning, you can forget it. It's not possible to even in the car. You have to have air conditioning in the car. You have to have air conditioning in the house, and you spend more time indoors during the summer, really. Which Poland is probably opposite, and you spend more time indoors during the winter.
And a lot of more people are outside in the summer.
So, are the people nice? Like, in Florida, like you go out, you go to take your trash out, and a guy is coming, and like they always say like hi or good morning and stuff. And in Poland,
Depends on what people and where you are in the city. I think in every place in the world there's nice people and there's not nice people. So you can see it everywhere. But overall, it's very nice people. Everything's okay right now.
but there is no customs like saying dzień dobry, good morning, like that
No,
would.
usually Jane Dobry, as you say to if you're close to anyone or if I don't know if you're going into a building or into a store, they always say it. Yeah.
So, is there any things that you like more in Poland than in US, or you hate maybe in Poland comparing to US, or um like I didn't like the smell on the streets. I think in Warsaw sometimes it's just stinks.
That's in Warsaw. The smell in New York is also bad on the streets.
Really? Like what?
In Chicago, it's dirty, or in New York,
Oh,
after the day or night, there's trash everywhere in Manhattan.
oh, okay. But in Warsaw, yeah, sometimes it goes from like, I don't know what it is, like those air ducts of the big buildings, you know.
Yeah, they keep it pretty clean here, though. It's pretty clean.
Pretty
There is
clean.
more to clean. Well, I love it too.
Yeah, more to clean in the winter. So, so there's nothing like you particularly hate or like or whatever.
Well, no, not now because I haven't gone a lot of places, seen a lot of things because a lot of things are closed. Movie theaters are closed. You know, some restaurants are limited. I think so.
Plus,
I haven't really been
so
out and did a lot of.
maybe when you get a better weather, you can film around a little bit for Polish people in US. And how is your Polish? Jak po polsku ci idzie, dobrze?
Dobrze, coraz lepiej.
Coraz lepiej, no to fajnie, to może coś nagrasz po polsku, jakbyś jechał jutro w mieście, coś tam nagrasz fajnego na telefon, nie wiem.
To coś spróbuję nagrać.
Nawet rzeczy zamknięte czy coś takiego, to fajnie. No to żegnam cię, na razie.
No też kocham to.